Hello, welcome back to Channel England Football. My name's Gary and we've done it. I cannot believe I started to make a YouTube channel 2 months ago, around about 2 months ago on the England football team. It was content I wanted to create that I couldn't find online myself, particularly on YouTube. And I thought, I've been an England fan for years and I thought I've always wanted someone to do this. And you know what? I thought I'm going to do it myself. Little did I know that 2 months later, I would be making a video on something that's never happened in my lifetime, that I never thought would happen in my time, given all the heartache, all the pain and heartache England fans have suffered over the years. I never thought I would be making this video. I cannot believe I am. And I have last night witnessed, and we all have, as a nation, we have witnessed the biggest result in not a generation, in almost 2 generations. I have never seen a bigger result ever in my life. I cried. I will openly admit I cried. It was one of the best days of my life. And I cannot believe just before I've done this video now, I have written England in the final on my Euro 2020 wall chart. I cannot believe it. This video, I'm going to do it differently from all the others. I'm not going to do player ratings. I will give an overall team rating at the end. But I'm just going to talk about the match as a whole, my thoughts on it, some of the standout performances, some of the ones where I feel like they probably could have improved. And then I'm going to look ahead to that Italy game, to that game that I never thought I'd see. And my God, am I nervous, but my God, am I excited. I am so happy to be an England fan. I am so proud of my country. And I cannot wait for Sunday. It is like 15 Christmas days rolled into one. So without further delay, I cannot wait to get into this one. So if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Like I said, this channel is completely dedicated to the England national team. I'll be here after. Don't you get me, don't get this wrong. I will be here after the Euros. Come win, lose, draw, whatever. If we don't win this tournament, I will be covering all the San Marino games, everything like that. Back during qualifying for years down the line, the international friendlies. I will be carrying on. But what a thing we've got to talk about here. So England last night. I went into this game more nervous than I think any other game I've gone into, and the reason why, I thought we would be the better team than Denmark. I thought we wouldn't have a better opportunity of getting to a final than what we did last night. I also thought that this England team was special and we was building something. And I also was so nervous we would end up with another World Cup where you feel like we could have just gone that step further. And I don't feel like that now. We are in the final. Whatever happens in this final, happens in this final. And I'll come on to that in a minute. I'll come on to my thoughts on that. But last night, from everybody, every single player that was involved, even those that weren't, the backroom staff, you can see they're all in this together. It has been such a team tournament, and it shows you what cohesion, calmness, composure can do for any squad's tournament. Southgate is by far the most successful manager within my lifetime, England manager that is, by far. Absolutely by far. He deserves an absolute monumental amount of credit. He's been unbelievable. Even coming on to the decisions he was making last night. Everything he does, he's got it right. Everything. Apart from the Scotland game, let's say. But everything else, he has absolutely nailed. I'm just looking here. If we cut out our own mistakes, and I'm just going to go on now. So last night, I know social media. I'm pretty shocked actually how much anti-English social media there is online. And this video is also going to cover about how much it means to us as England fans. But the amount of anti-English tweets, posts, whatever, that I have seen online is disheartening, it's disgraceful, it's disgusting. I don't get it. And don't get me wrong, people are going to say, because you boo this, and there's England fans that do that. Every single set of fans has their bad side. They do. They all have their bad fans in terms of give them a reputation. But for England, I don't know why, but everybody loves to hate us, and I don't know why, because we're not arrogant. We're certainly not any more arrogant than anyone else. Everyone else, it's all right for everyone else to walk around confident that they're going to win a game, but as soon as England do, we're known as arrogant, and we disregard, it's not fair. England deserve to be in this final. They have been one of the top 2 teams in this tournament. I am going to die by what I'm saying here. I am adamant England deserve to be in this final. It's not luck. You can talk about this penalty, and we're going to come on to it. You can talk about the penalty, but it is not luck why England won last night. We were the better team. I think Denmark was the only team out of this tournament actually we've had more shots at goal at than anybody else. Denmark, really, I think we started the game better. I think for the first 15 minutes we were the better team. And then from 15 minutes to probably half-time, Denmark were the better team. Only just though. It's not like they dominated us. They were only just the better team. From the second half onwards, though, Denmark as an attacking threat were nothing, non-existent. England were the only team that looked like wanting to win. England were taking the game to Denmark. They were building the pressure. It's saying a lot when we all know probably the player of the match was Kasper Schmeichel. That says a lot in itself. I'm not saying we created a bucket load of chances, but that in itself speaks volumes. And people will, I've seen a lot of tweets about England not deserving to win last night, or, we only won because we cheated. Raheem Sterling did not cheat. There was plenty of contact there for him to go down. He's almost been sandwiched. Essentially, if you're attacking, you make your own luck. If you're going to sit back and invite us on and allow a player like Sterling to run into the box, which he did, and for 2 of them to lunge in like they did, dangling feet all over, you are going to give away penalties. Now, don't get me wrong, I would be furious if it was the other way around against England, because it does look like a soft penalty, and I'm not saying it isn't. But you cannot say there was no contact. You cannot say that we are cheaters. I'm sorry, we're not. We're not. Every other nation does this. Every other nation would go down. The Denmark players last night were chucking themselves all over the floor. I think their free kick that led to the goal was a ridiculous decision. I think the free kick before that led to their free kick before the goal was a ridiculous decision. There's loads of different things that happen within a game, but this is how football is now. You cannot touch players running into boxes, and he did touch him. 2 of them did. Yes, he's gone down easily, but at the same time, it is not by far. I have seen them given, and I've seen them not, and I can understand why Denmark are aggrieved. However, if we didn't get that penalty, Kane, I think, should have had one earlier. How on earth he had a foul against him when he was just simply running, I do not know. We should have had a penalty earlier, and over the course of the game, over the course of the 90 minutes and extra time, we were by far... From half-time onwards, we were by far the better team. I think from the second half onwards, Denmark as an attacking threat were the least threatening out of every team we've placed in the knockout. In fact, almost every team we've played in this tournament. And I'm not saying that to be harsh against Denmark. I just think I cannot remember anything from the second half onwards where I was ever worried about what Denmark were offering going forward. They had a fantastic first half. And I think, to be honest with you, they just ran out of legs, didn't they? They just ran out of legs. And this is where England's bench, like we knew it would do, came into its own. With the strength and depth we've got on the field and on the bench, we knew at some point in this tournament, that bench, particularly with 5 subs, we knew that would come in handy for us. And it did last night. It did last night. But I am adamant England deserved the victory. You can say about this and that, but there was certainly some decisions there that should have gone our way that didn't, and certainly some decisions that probably do look a bit harsh to Denmark, but they're not outrageously harsh. It's not like he has chucked himself on the floor and nobody's touched him at all. That isn't the case. You cannot say there was no contact, because there were. It was just about how much contact. I think it's a deserved victory for England. Now, obviously, since the game, we've learnt that UEFA have charged England. So I know with the laser pointer, obviously, I don't think anyone saw that in the game. But obviously, it's disgusting. The laser pointing is disgusting. But we've seen it before. It only takes one idiot in a crowd of 67,000, I think they said. Even though they said it was 60, I think they said official attendance was 67,000. Only takes one idiot to shine a laser pen. Didn't put him off because he saved the penalty, essentially. I think the fireworks thing was setting it off outside the ground. I've seen a few videos, actually, where they're setting it off outside the ground. That's, again, it's out in the public. People are idiots. And booing national anthems. Now, booing national anthems, yes, I don't agree with that. I would not boo another team's national anthem. However, I think in the grand scheme of things, it's pantomime, isn't it? When someone it's almost he's behind you, boo, and it's ridiculous. I don't get why people get so upset about it. If someone booed the English national anthem, if we were in, if I expect if we're in a final or semi-final against a home nation in their ground, when our national anthem comes on, I'm expecting certainly whistles. I think whistling is more common in Europe, but it's not seen as the same negative as booing. But it certainly gets whistled. I mean, how many games I've watched on TV where the Spanish and Italians and all, it's just constant whistling all the time. That's just as disrespectful. But it's not about. But it's the pantomime of football. So I don't understand the argument about booing national anthems. I really don't. I just think, come on, it's a game of football. We're all in it. It's all a bit of banter. It's all a bit of a battle. When all's said and done, you shake hands and say well played or not well played or unlucky or whatever. But I don't buy this people getting het up about booing national anthems. It wouldn't bother me if someone booed the English national anthem. I'm sure someone's whistled and booed it a million times before. So I don't understand that one. Going back to the game, it was, like I said, I'm not giving player ratings, but looking at some of the standout performances, obviously Sterling, the man of the match. Saka was fantastic. Phillips had actually, I think, quite a poor first half, but grew into the game and was fantastic in the second. Rice had a good game. Kane, obviously, he's just starting to look, isn't it? He is looking sharper now. He's looking so much more sharper than what he did in their first opening games. Maguire is just I think he's one of the best centre-backs in the world. He's just outstanding at the minute, isn't it? He walks the ball out of defence. He wins every single header. It's just ridiculous. The ball's like a magnet to his head. He's such a threat the other end of the pitch as well on the attack. He's a fantastic player. Maguire is so important to this team and this success. He really is. I think John Stones had a good game. I think the two fullbacks had a good game, albeit quieter. I think the only England player actually who did have quite a poor game is Pickford. Particularly in the first half was by far his worst performance. He was woeful pretty much in the first half. I think probably, I know the free kick, but I think he should have saved it. I don't get this why keepers don't stand in the front of the middle of the goal, particularly when it's so far out. I don't know why he stood to the side, but for me, he should save that. A keeper should not be beaten from that range, no matter how well he hits it. And there was two I think, where he was throwing it out to Danish players. Everything they created was of our own making. And this goes back to, again, I think, one, how poor Pickford was, because a lot of it came from Pickford. But two, I think how much England deserved the victory. Denmark didn't really create much off their own back. It was our own silly mistakes, which nearly cost us. But Pickford had a poor game, didn't he? But you'll all know from my previous videos, for me, up until this point, you could argue that Pickford's probably been one of our best players of the tournament. So you can't be too harsh on him. We've come through it. He had a better second half, made a couple of good saves. Made a couple of, came out and claimed balls, punch balls. So he certainly picked up in the second half. You can only applaud that, but he just seems a little bit hot-headed, doesn't he? And he needs to calm it down into the final. I just, like you all, I'm in absolute shock. I was crying with joy last night. I still can't believe what I've witnessed. I literally just can't believe it. I'm so emotional. I would give anything for England to win on Sunday. And this brings me on now to the Italy game. The reason why I was so nervous about the Denmark and the Ukraine game, even more so than the Germany, is because you feel like they're games, no disrespect, but in games where you want us to win, you should expect us to win. When we get to a final, it changes. Against Italy, I would argue, have probably been the best team in the tournament. Certainly, the best two teams are in this final. The best two teams of the tournament are in this final. Make no mistake. However, I think Italy are I'm not going to say slight favourites, but they have played better football. I think it's a very even game, and that's because England are at home. And obviously England have been playing well, and they have made even Denmark. They even made Denmark look like a different team. They have done against other players, other teams. Sorry, I think England will do the same to Italy. I think it could go either way. What I would not give for England to lift that trophy. I mean, if England lift a trophy in my lifetime, I just cannot. I literally shake with joy at the thought of that. I just hope to God it happens. If it doesn't, though, I'd be disappointed. Obviously, I'd be incredibly disappointed, but I'd still be very happy with what I've witnessed this year. It's absolutely made my summer, our summer. I hope we don't lose in the final, because it will be devastating. But whatever happens Sunday, when we do look back, we'll realise that this tournament was amazing. But something just feels different, doesn't it? It feels like it's England's time. It feels like that. Whether it is that, though, 90 minutes, two cracking teams, it could go either way. Let's be honest, it can go either way. Let's just, all of us, Italian fans, English fans, every fan around the world, let's just hope a red card or something like that does not dictate the outcome of this game. Let's hope for a clean 90 minutes, 180 penalties, whatever, but let's just make sure we all get through it. It's 11 versus 11 all the way through it, and let's make it a cracking final. The atmosphere will be amazing. I'm going to go with 2-0 England. That's my optimistic prediction. 2-0 to England. I hope to God. I mean, I found this video hard to make because I just don't know what to say. I'm still kind of speechless. I'm giving my overall England performance rating from last night is 9 out of 10. As you will know, I've never given a 10 in the few games that I have done anyway, but I've never given a 10. I will be given a 10 Sunday if we win it. If we win the game, it's just a clear 10. No matter how we win it, it's a 10. But this team, Southgate, is a genius. This team has broken down barrier after barrier after barrier. And anyone who is not English now watching this, you do not understand how much this means to England fans. We have, I'm going to put something up now. You will see England over the years have had countless just heartache or poor decisions or baffling choices that have happened or penalty shootouts. England deserve this. Based on how they've played, I think, you're in your own looking tournaments, and I think we've played some of the best football in this tournament. And then you mix that in with our past, England deserve a tiny bit of rub of the green. And I don't think it's even been that much of a huge rub of the green, not compared to some of the scandals we've had against us. Come on, England. Just please do it. Please do it. Thank you so much for watching. It's a weird video. Like I said, I feel a bit numb doing this video and recording it. I've struggled to find out what to say, really. But come on, England. And please, I will beg any neutral fan, please look at England fans that aren't the negatives, aren't the bad guys. There's a lot of genuine England fans out there that, respect other nations. Let's have a fair game on Sunday. And come on, England. I cannot wait. And get Southgate knighted. So thank you very much for watching. I will be back after Sunday's final. I may try and record another video before then. I don't know. I'm all a bit of a blur, actually. I feel a bit numb. But come on, England. I cannot wait. And yes, see you on the next video.